And what in heaven's name brought you to Casablanca?
My health. I came to Casablanca for the waters.
The waters? What waters? We're in the desert.
I was misinformed.
He taught me, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
It's the Al Travis Show. We've got him, Senator Aric Putnam, on the program. So much, and it's. I want to talk what's important today to Minnesotans. I mean, obviously the government shut down. I can't do anything about that. That's kind of national stuff. We'll talk national people. But I had a person send me an email, Senator, just ripping on me. But I spend so much time on this fraud thing. Don't you know that? And then he went off on a whole Trump tangent. It's like, not that we won't talk about that stuff, but we kind of cover the Minnesota stuff first. And here's something we're going to say, guess what? Why would Al waste time? And I already have. Senator, let me ask you this, how this works. Special sessions. You got a job. You're like, guy pays me to go here and teach stuff. So, I mean, I got a job. They knew going in that I'm the senator, so they know February to May I got stuff. But if you just call up and say, Governor said we're getting together, I got to take off, I don't know, next week for 3 days, next 6 weeks. How does your employer have to put up with that out of you?
Well, so here's the first thing is, how could anyone possibly be mad at you?
Oh, I was shocked, quite frankly.
Emails? How is that even possible? Let me know who they are. I'm going to take issue with them. I got your back.
It is so funny because when people do go negative on the email stuff, and you can, and stuff, it's almost never about the topic. Like we're talking too much about fraud. I'm sorry, I'm not making up to fraud. Every other day, another fraud thing comes out, so we talk about it on the air, and it might seem like a lot, but if you're talking politics, that's what we're talking about. But this, and it was, have you heard of med beds?
No.
I remember it. Donald Trump on some, what's his True Social thing? I'm not on it. Whatever his little Twitter thing is that he's got. Evidently, somebody put an AI-generated med bed. If you put people in it, then they get cured of everything. Why aren't you talking about that, Al? And I'm like, first I heard of it. Literally, you're the first guy to tell me. And I actually looked on, there's some AI-generated thing, but because it's not, okay, we're trying hard to realize what's happening in Minnesota. That's what he was yelling at. So my point is, when I read those and you get mad at me, yeah, okay.
Well, so I wasn't deliberately trying to duck the question. I was just trying to make a joke. So I can go.
Oh, the question's still there. How does your boss have to put up with you? Maybe not working next week, and maybe it'll be a 3-week special session. They call it. How has your boss got to put up with that?
I think it depends on the job. So a lot of legislators are retired or business owners, and they can make their own schedule. For me, a lot of the people I work with, the other professors, this might be a bit of a shock, but they can be a little bit entitled and sometimes cancel class because the weather is nice or because they feel like they're in the middle of a chapter of a book and they just can't put it down. Like that happens at the place where I teach. So the fact that I've got like a legitimate, real reason not to be there, I'm cool with it, and they can deal. But the other thing is, it is
fair
the
enough.
law. It is the law. Like they actually have to cut us some slack.
Okay. But it would be like, and Senator Nick French, right?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer. They got billboards with his face all over the Mankato area. So he's your lawyer, and you're running along, and judge going to meet you, whatever, October 15th. You got a trial. Oops, governor stepped in. I'm just saying it's got to be hard. It's just got to be harder for you guys. I don't think we should take them lightly, special sessions.
Well, so a couple things. One, there's always another ambulance for Nick to chase. He's going to be.
I did not say that.
He can chase.
Listen to this, Nick.
To Paul if he has to. But to your question, actually, I think you might like this, and this is something that your listeners, both of them, should know. Is
Mom?
That when we had that issue with the former Senator Nicole Mitchell.
Yeah.
I actually tried to change that law that let her delay her hearing. I tried to change the law. But one of the things with that law is that it's actually kind of written for lawyers who are legislators, because they are allowed to go to court and kind of negotiate stuff. When they've got someone that they have to defend or someone they have to argue for, they can be excused for that purpose. Senator Champion, Senator Latz, they're on the phone constantly, still doing their legal stuff in between meetings and things like that.
Sure.
Depends on your career. But overall, the law says you got to give us some time.
All right, fair enough. So let's talk special session then. So we talked special session. doesn't make any sense math-wise. I think we even talked about that last week, right?
Yeah.
67, 33, 32. Even if you fill up, then it's a whole math problem. But we're going to still talk about it. Well, that didn't get any traction. So the governor comes in, let's do a constitutional amendment. Maybe that's how we let the people vote on it, which I love that. But you're in the same boat. 67, 33, 32, and you got to come up with the wording on how this is going to work. Because this is what bothers me about any and all amendments we've ever done to the Constitution. They're worded almost backwards. If you can write them. If I vote yes on this, is that I'm saying I don't want it? Or if I vote no, am I saying I want it? They always do that convoluted crap instead of just saying, and when you're looking at guns, it's got to, I presume, unless it's all, get rid of all guns, there's going to be some pretty nitpicky things, just AR-14. Well, if they call them AR-16s as they get, we're going to have to do something. And I just don't know that you can do that in a couple of months.
I'm going to say I don't think you're wrong. I'm not.
What?
I can't go far.
This has been a big day for you and I.
I know. I can't actually say the words "you are right," L. Travis, but I can say I don't think that you're wrong. Because,
Okay.
And this is a challenging one, right? Like you don't. I like the idea, just like you do, of putting it up to the people. I think that's better than having us do it. I think that makes a lot more sense. But you're right. It's a complicated issue. And here's the thing: you don't vote on fundamental rights. You don't vote if some people can vote. You don't do that.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the disposition of the right, not the right itself. So I do think it's appropriate, not a bad idea, to put it up to people to vote on. But you're right. The details are going to be the issue. And this has been my concern all along. When people ask me, are you going to ban this? You're going to ban that? My answer is what? Like, what is it exactly we're talking about? Because the answer changes based on what it is we're talking about. And this might be a shock too, but nuance and detail are not real strengths sometimes in our political discourse. But this one needs it.
Oh, and not because I don't just want to say the abortion word because then people perk up, but it's kind of like the abortion issue. It's so much more clouded than just when do you become a human, right? Is it 22 weeks? Is it 24 weeks? It's science, it's math. I tell you the gun thing's the same way. I know we hate the AR-15 because it looks bad. It's an ugly looking gun, but when you bust a gun down, there's only about 5 parts. There's that ugly barrel. Some got a hand. You got to go through that and say, okay, what is it we're really upset about in the gun industry? It's the speed of the bullets. We can talk all of that, but you're not going to get that done and word it in one paragraph that I'm going to flip over after I didn't vote on any judges because I don't know who they are. Flip that over and then have to read this and understand it. I don't want a knee-jerk reaction. If y'all want that, spend the next session figuring it the heck out, and then we'll put it up. But it's almost like this special session. You don't have the numbers. Here's the latest news in post. Governor Walz, legislative leaders broke down this morning after about 10 minutes when the Democrats abruptly left the meeting. This is on the mid-post, and indicated they would no longer work with the Republicans. You picked your ball up and went home? Are we just done with it then? Does that mean we're not having it?
Well, so to be fair,
I want to be. That's just the way the Post wrote it.
I don't know about that 10-minute meeting, but I do know that there was a proposal that the Senate Democrats sent to the House and Senate GOP leadership, and they didn't even respond. So, we sent them a letter that said, these are some things that we'd like to work on. What do you think? And they didn't even respond. So, there's plenty of childishness going in every direction, which is kind of the way things work. But I want to go back to your other point, because it was a really good one. And I'm sorry that I said that out loud.
This is great, Craig.
But see, I think we agree on this. I think one of the reasons why we get along is that fundamentally we think that human beings are just shaved monkeys who throw poop at each other. That's all we are. And so we have never been perfect. We're never gonna be perfect. We cannot be pure in any weird way. So just like with guns and your analogy to abortion, neither of those rights are perfect.
Yes.
They're always going to be shaped by human beings doing things one way or the other. So, we get on our political discourse. Oh, this is the end of everything. We have to defend this. We have to defend it's my right in the Constitution. It's my right here. Yeah, it is, but it's also more complicated than that. But going back to what we were saying before, we're not so good at the details and working those things out. But one of the things that challenges me is that sometimes we work out those details in private, in politics, but we don't do it in public with the people, and I think that's a mistake.
100%. And it would have to be as transparent as possible. Everything out there, you're going to have massive meetings that, I don't know, the gun maker people come in. You got, you're going to have to do that. And I don't think they want to do that. I don't think you want to do that in some special session right now in the middle of summer when you're scheduled to be back in February. I mean, this isn't that I mean, somebody else could die, I get it. But it isn't one of those things that if we don't do it by tomorrow, we're going to be behind the 8 ball, right? I mean, we can
right.
take time to do this, right?
We can't do it until second week of November anyway. Like we literally can't do it because we don't have 34 votes, period, in the Senate, which means we can't convene and we can't adjourn.
See, but that's on you unless you give up that seat unless you allow your gal to lose in, was it Woodbury? This is the weird thing about it. So we have the two things in November, and let's say they both win out, you got the numbers, but the gal in Woodbury is a representative in the House, so then her seat gets open, and now the Republicans have more people on their side, so you surely don't want to do it then. We better wait until another special election. The math is so funny here. I mean, funny for me, I'm a radio guy, but not funny for you guys. This math doesn't work until almost mid-January, if right away they call a special election and then somebody runs in January, and now you're weeks away from going to the regular session anyway. Why would, this is what I'm saying. Why would you now just go to work? Regular
Again,
time?
I think you're, I can't.
I'm so spot on today.
I feel like I'm going to just explode, spontaneously combust if I say these words again. But you're right. It's math, and it's math and a calendar, and those are two things you can't vote against.
It's going to happen one way or the other. I'm just on fire. We're going to be back after this. We get to talk about the fun stuff now. The guy that grows that guy crazy. More fraud. I think I have a law that'll fix it. We'll talk it. Aric Putnam, right after this.
Braver Angels Minnesota is part of a national movement that brings together conservatives, liberals, independents, and others to restore trust, respect, and goodwill in politics. We seek not to eliminate our differences, but rather deal with them head on, with respect and understanding. We do not try to change people's views, but how they view the other side. There will always be differences. Braver Angels Minnesota believes the best way forward is to change how we deal with those differences. Join the civil conversation at mn.braverangels.org.
If it's your turn to host a game, Grandpa's Barbecue suggests you try something different. Put out the perfect barbecue flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. Add it to your ribs, dip the meatballs, or drench your wings in the original flavor of Grandpa's Barbecue. It isn't too hot or spicy, fruity or smoky or whatever. Grandpa's Barbecue. Available in select stores and online at grandpasbarbecueshop.com.
friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
All right, I think I'm going to be able to get Senator Putnam and I on the same page and all the folks on different sides on this one. Because Monday, I think it was, another fraud thing came out, the ICS program, Integrated Community Supports Program. This is a program where people help folks with disabilities figure out how to stay in their house. You got to help them how to clean their house, how to read the lawn sign, yard signs or street signs, that sort of thing. And it sounds like a great program. Maybe we need them, maybe we don't. Find out, guess what? It's just like every other program we set up. You tell the government you're helping Bob read lawn signs or yard signs, and then you send in a bill, and then we send you a check. Don't know if Bob ever figured out how to do that. Don't know if he ever even needed it. We just send in money. Here's my point. I hate this fraud stuff because it's my money. I'm nothing but a money's guy. You know me. But why is your side not just as fuming that every one of these kids with autism on the spectrum, they weren't getting their money? These kids that are supposed to be getting help here with disabilities aren't getting their money. The housing stability people, they're not getting their money. You guys should be just as teed as I am from the other side, saying, why are we letting it make it so easy to walk with my cash?
But here's the thing. We are just as mad. But here's the thing. We're also doing something about it. So we've talked about this before, the Office of the Inspector General. Like we've actually put some work forward to try to do some stuff to fix this. So we're mad too. We just aren't spending as much time fuming and more time working.
Well, I'm going to throw back at you a little bit if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you senator, I would tell you senators absolutely did. What was it, 60-7 or some crazy number like that? Yeah. Bipartisan, this was brilliant. I'm under the impression somebody on your side, governor, didn't want it, and the House wouldn't even vote on it. Now, they didn't vote against it because that would make them look bad, so they voted about not voting on it. It's a whole trickster thing. That stopped some reason. Now, the governor comes out, and he came up with his own, we might want to do an Inspector General thing, which why not just get behind your guys's, but no, his has them reporting differently. We're still making a game out of it. I mean, really be ticked off that the money we're sending out isn't helping the people we want. The Feeding Our Futures, food for kids, I'm not against it, but I'm mad because you're stealing my money. You guys should be mad no kids got that food. $250 million worth of food didn't go to kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We all should be so mad. And here's what I'd like. I'd like you and I and a small committee of friends, some beers and some cigars, and sit through these one at a time and say, how would we stop that fraud from happening? And I'd tell you one thing. I would say a doctor, well, that's autism. If you're going to get paid to help autistic kids, a doctor has to send you there saying that he actually has autism, okay? Because I know him. I met him. And then, even Al, because you guys, for some reason, don't have to be good at it, but the doctor can say, you know, Al's Autism Center, he's a radio guy. He probably is going to help you good. He's not going to give the referral there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, then you get it to people who have the credentials to do it. Then I'm okay. But to just say Al's Autism Center put the shingle out and start making money, it makes no sense. Is it that hard?
No, I think in principle you're right, and I think that those kinds of conversations are actually happening here and there and everywhere, and I think that's a fantastic idea. Like greater expectations, not just for government agencies, but for recommenders and for regular processes to make sure that people. So there's two things: one, make sure that people have the actual need, but two, make sure the help actually gets to them. I think doing both those things makes tons of sense to me.
See, what it kills me, but this is what gets me about it. Feeding Our Future 5 years ago now, and they're ripping us off in the exact same pattern. Fill names out, mail them in, get a check. The exact same pattern as we did back then. We haven't, I'm not blaming you, we haven't cracked down. And here's where I really get teed off. The folks that work for the state, and there are many good ones, I'm not ripping everybody, but if you're writing those weird checks, and you're seeing some gal, the last gal, $14 million, all government money from this frauding, it didn't hit you once in the back of your head like, we should check on this. And even if it did, you should be mad as heck that your job is to help those kids with autism and you just wrote checks away. You know what I'm saying? We have to want it more. All of us, from government down, every single one say, that ain't right, man. I'll go to the top of the tower and I'll yell that this woman who made nothing in 2019 made $14 million on us in 2022. How do you set up that much business that fast? Well, you can't, every autistic kid in the world, she knew them all.
No, I hear you. And there's another example, and here's like an actual concrete place where I've tried to do something. Okay. Again, not Democrats, just me. But so, I'm chair of the Veterans Committee, Committee on Veterans and Military Affairs. And, we saw probably 7-8 different nonprofits that take a veteran fishing. That's great. But it's basically a dude with a boat. you know, and I think that's great. It's a good thing that needs to happen. But then you hear from other folks, sometimes people just don't really know how to run a nonprofit. It's not that they're crooked. They end up sort of accidentally misusing funds or not using them as well as they possibly could.
Sure.
So something I want to do in the veterans area is something similar to what they did in Jobs, the Workforce Development Fund, is you don't do direct appropriations anymore.
There you go.
You set up a thing where people have to apply, and it's more of a grant-based thing within the agency. So you have the agency overlooking it, and then you also have the people who are administering the grant program.
Sure.
And that to me is like one extra step of, whoa, slow down, let's see if this will work, instead of just opening the floodgates. And again, people are doing good work. Sometimes they're a dude to the boat. They don't know how to run a business or a nonprofit.
No, that's perfect. And the other thing is have goals. So this, like the autism thing, what was the goal? Al doesn't have any autism experience, but I get the kid coming in getting checks. Does he ever get off it? I mean, does it help? What was the ultimate goal other than we said we helped? What did you know what I'm saying? Get a goal. The fishing thing's one. If you're going to reapply, how many guys did you take out? Let's have a goal set up. I got to fly because I'm out of town. Love having you on the program, my friend. Get you back next week.
See you next week.
Right. Senator Aric Putnam on the Al Travis Show.